Well, it is an historic day for Mizzou athletics as we announce the next phase of facility improvements as Mizzou moves into the Southeastern Conference. I'm joined by University of Missouri Athletic Director Mike Alden. And Mike, it really is all about becoming a member of the SEC on July 1st. And if we go back to when this was announced and all the preparations that have taken place between November 6th and now, a lot of it's been leading up to this. And it's all about stepping up our game as we move into the Southeastern Conference.
It is, Ben. You know, we've talked about this many times, and that is, as excited as we are to be entering the Southeastern Conference, we also suggested, particularly when we first announced we were going to the SEC, that it was going to take all of us to be able to step up our game. You know, whether that means increases in our Tiger Scholarship Fund, more season ticket holders, greater coverage for what we're trying to do, our fans showing up in different areas, our student athletes stepping up at a higher level, our coaches. But also from a facility standpoint, we talked about that as well too. And it was important for us to be able to take a look at the great facilities we have at Mizzou. But as you know that you're entering the SEC, what are the things that we need to do to be able to improve our facilities to keep moving forward? And so we began that process a little while ago, and it's great that we're able to see the culmination of all that work here today. So what we're looking at and what we've introduced is the fact that we're going to be improving our facilities to the tune a little north of $200 million worth of work. Okay, so there's an awful lot of work that's going to go into place throughout the entire sports park at Mizzou. And coming out of the chutes, there's going to be right around $100 million worth of work, which we have to do immediately to get things started. And so that work that encompasses roughly that $100 million worth of work is going to impact our football stadium. It's going to impact our tennis complex. It'll impact our baseball stadium. It'll impact softball. And it'll also impact men's and women's golf. Now, those sports directly impacted will also impact all of our sports. But really, from our fan base standpoint, from our student athlete standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, from a national image standpoint, it's going to really impact those 5 sports at a very high level.
What will we see right away? What's the first phase, I guess you'd say?
Okay, so we come back to that and talk about that phase of work. And what folks are going to see is they're going to see a brand new indoor golf facility for both our men's and women's golf teams. It'll be located out at Old Hawthorne Golf Club, and that's where our teams play. And so there'll be an indoor facility there which will house both men's and women's golf, indoor hitting bays so that our kids can be able to practice and work out year-round. Give us an opportunity really to train 12 months out of the year versus the time where we have inclement weather right now and we can't train at that time. So that'll really address that area. That's one of the pieces of that first phase. Another piece has to do with our tennis complex, and we built all brand new outdoor courts this last year, and now we want to add to that. And so grandstands and other team facilities and fan facilities, concession areas, more restrooms and the like is going to really improve the green tennis complex. From a baseball standpoint, the continued growth of what we're seeing in baseball, but also the league that we're stepping into, means that we need to be able to provide even greater team space, more fan amenities, as well as some more premium seating in baseball. Softball-wise, you've got a team that's certainly one of the elite programs in the country. We've had tremendous fan support for softball, and we need to improve that. And so folks are going to see us really increase the overall size of the university field, more team facilities, offices, indoor practice facilities for softball as well too. And then finally, football. And when we take a look at the sport of football, you're going to be looking at the press box that we currently have. We're going to do a complete renovation of that press box. That will be done for the start of the 2013 season. You're going to go directly across. This is all in phase 1. And you're going to construct an upper deck and more seating and premium seating on the east side. And so fans will see the height of our facility be pretty much consistent on both the west and the east stands. You're going to see us take the north concourse where the Block M is located, and we're going to just increase the size of that concourse. The Rock M stays there, so we don't touch the Rock M other than actually move it closer to the field, which I think will look great, especially for television. And then we increase that concourse. And then we have a lot of infrastructure work that we have to do underneath. Now, going across the street, again, by the Mizzou Athletic Training Complex, there's a new indoor facility that we'll be constructing on Field 1, which will really provide more indoor workout space for all of our sport programs. Our football program would utilize the new indoor facility that we're going to build primarily, and then the current Divine Pavilion. Shoot, we use that thing all the time. So it provides more indoor facilities for us as well, and we're going to be constructing another weight room. So all of that kind of work that we're just talking about really encompasses about $100 million worth of work, and how that's set up, how you fund that, is today, and this happened earlier today, you know, we announced the second largest gift ever given to the entire University of Missouri. That's a $30 million gift from the Kansas City Sports Trust. That's a huge commitment to our athletic program and huge commitment to our university. The Kansas City Sports Trust has committed over $50 million, $50 million, to the athletic program at the University of Missouri. So it's a huge supporter of what we're doing. And then we're also going to borrow $72 million to be able to complement that. So with a $30 million gift, $72 million that you're borrowing, you combine that together, $100 million worth of work, it's going to start it off pretty well for us.
And when this is all said and done, in the next 3 to 5 years, we anticipate you'll have dual structures at the football stadium, and as you mentioned, 2 different indoor practice facilities, one that will be built on the Cadillac athletic fields where they are now. How much flexibility does that give for all sports to have that kind of space and that kind of commitment?
It's amazing. I tell you, you know, Ben, the amount of time that we spend inside of the Divine Pavilion right now and the strains that we have on that facility because of how important it is to softball and to soccer and to baseball, and wrestling will use it, track and field will use it to be able to do some type of sprint workout, all these different types of things, as well as football. We know that we're going to be able to really accommodate the needs of all of our programs once we have these 2 facilities. It's going to be tremendous. And let me tell you, what folks are going to see at Faurot Field, I mean, that's a big time look. I mean, it's a big time look. It's going to get our attendance a little north of 75,000 in this phase. And then they're also going to see, and they've seen, the second phase, which will include bowling in the south end zone, and that'll get us north of 80,000. And that'll be in phase 2, right? But phase 1 is going to be a tremendous facelift for Faurot Field and for our fans.
That north end zone, that's kind of a regrading of the hill, make it a little steeper. Is that the best way to describe it?
Yeah, that's exactly how to describe it. So right now when fans see the Rock M, it's a little bit more recessed towards the field than how it will be. It's going to bring it closer to the field, so it'll bring it closer to the field. Now when it does that, it's going to take up, you know where the track is that goes around that? It'll take up that part of the track, okay, when that thing is moved north. And what that'll do is it'll be a little steeper. It'll still be all grass, all of our Rock M, but it'll really enhance the size of our concourse, which is there on the north end. And the reality with our crowds, that as big as they're getting, is we need to have more movement, more space for fans to be able to walk around and to be able to circulate, and that'll give us quite a bit more room on the north side.
The reality of this is that it's going to make things a lot better for our fans, our student athletes, and everybody who works here and has something to do with Mizzou athletics. But talk a little bit about the statement that you feel like this makes for Mizzou moving into the Southeastern Conference and continuing our national branding.
Well, I do think that when we entered the Southeastern Conference and announced that on November the 6th, I know as excited as folks are and were and are and will continue to be, there were some folks, there were some that said, yes, but is Mizzou prepared to do what it takes to be able to compete at that level? I would suggest today, in this statement that we made, there is no question nationally that folks recognize that we're prepared to step up at a big way, to be able to do it the right way, and to be able to compete at the highest level.
So what's the next step? You mentioned that about half of the $200 million total is accounted for and moving through that first phase, but how do we close the gap for the rest of the resources that are needed to move forward and complete this project totally? Well,
we'll be entering a capital campaign, which this $30 million gift is part of that. As far as the entire university, we'll be entering a capital campaign in the not too distant future. The university will be. We'll be a part of that. And so as we move forward, while we're doing all these projects that we just laid out today, then we'll be in the fundraising mode to be able to continue to generate more dollars to be able to support the next phase, which will be the closing in of the south end of the football stadium, as well as other improvements throughout the sports park. So over the course of the next 3 to 5 years, while all of these projects are being built, we'll be raising additional monies to be able to complement the next $100 million worth of work, which needs to take place.
What an exciting time. The sports park is going to look a lot different here in the coming years. Mike, thanks for your time.
I appreciate it, Ben. And it's exciting for our fans, it's exciting for our student athletes, it's exciting for our university, and I really think it's exciting for our state. You know, we made a statement that said we want to be able to step it up at an even higher level. We've entered the SEC. We represent 6 million people in our state. We're the flagship institution of our state, and what an exciting way to be able to really make that statement to the country that the state of Missouri and the university and the athletic program is well prepared to be able to step it up and do it in a big way. So we're very excited.
Big stuff. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.